Jim, AG6IF here in Southern California. Happy 2019 to everybody. I'm sitting here in the shack today, working a little HF and listening to 100 Watts in a Wire podcast, getting caught up on those. Thanks, Christian, for such a great program there. Anyway, we're looking around on, I did a little small presentation last night for GTARC Radio Club, and we talked a little bit about FT8. I was trying to show some resources out on the web. This is pskreporter.info. A lot of people probably are familiar with it. I've talked about it many times. So I got out here and I was looking at, this is a display of all the different bands and who's contacting who. I've set it up this way. All bands, anyone, and hit go. And then I kind of went through the bands themselves. And when I got down, I started with 6 meters and say, okay, 6 meters, not great. A little bit in the Europe. Oh, there's a little opening there from, Europe down to South America. Okay, that's interesting. And you can set the time window, 30 minutes, for example. And then, okay, that's getting a little better. Then I went to 10 meters. There wasn't a whole lot going on there. A little bit. Little opening there from Europe down to South America. And just starting up here from the East Coast. But I'm out here in Dion Land, Southern California. And when I got to 12 meters, it looked kind of interesting. It's like, hey, look at there. Looks pretty good. West Coast all the way to East Coast on 12 meters. I don't work too much 12 meters, but my antenna will do it. I'm using a full wave loop, 80 meters. It works on all the bands, except it even works on 160 actually, a little bit with the tuner. So I went over to my computer here, wsjtx, and fired up 12 meters on my 991, connected with a USB cable here. And first thing I did was I sent I replied to an N8, let's see, HMG right there. And he came back to me. That's with the red lines. If somebody contacts you, you get a red stripe in there. So anyway, it worked out pretty good. 12 meters, one for one there. He had a pretty good signal. I was hearing him real well at a, I guess it was, I gave him a, let's see here, I gave him a 7. I'm sorry, I gave him basically a 9 signal report. It ranges from about -24 at the bottom to, I've seen him even over 0, 1 or 2 sometimes. So anyway, our two systems exchanged signal reports there. You can see in the waterfall kind of fading out here. Let's just say propagation. Who knows? But here we go. We get this station every other 15-second cycle, and all of a sudden it kind of faded right there. You can see, and then it's gone. So I don't know if he turned the power down or the propagation probably just failed out. That's what happens. You can see this real easy with digital. So anyway, I got a contact. I threw it in my logbook here. At 12 meters, signal report, -9, -7. He gave me a -7. And so there, we made a 12 meter contact. So using this PSK reporter tool. Now let's take another look here. What we got, 12. Refresh the screen. It's still going. There's just not a whole lot of activity, and the waterfall is pretty empty. So we can come down here to find my mouse here, and let's take a look at 15 meters. 17 is usually pretty busy, so we can go to 17 meters here. There's already, I can see signals, lots of signals in 17 meters coming in. Come back over this screen here. Let's go to 17 meters. 17 meters and hit refresh here, hit the go button. Alright, lots of traffic on 17, look at there. So into South America and over into Europe. So 17 is probably pretty good right now. You can also shorten this window up to 15 minutes if you want. Kind of get a comparison if it's getting better or worse. Look at the time horizon. So 17 is looking good. You can probably make some contacts on 17. And I know we've done this plenty of times before, but here's some CQs. They come in green. There's an N9 station. So if you double click, we'll wait for next cycle. We'll double click on one of these guys. And let's see here. 6B4, 6B. All right. Okay, there's an N9 KT. Double click on them, hit enable TX. So it positions your pointer there. So we're transmitting right now. Okay, let's see if we get them. So the screen will tell you a couple things. The azimuth, the direction, 67 degrees and 1717 miles from my location. Okay, there's the red. Now what happens next, if you've got the auto sequence checked, notice that my pointer moved down. Transmitter's on again. So it went ahead and sent the signal report back. -12. We sent him a -12. He gave me a -11. So now it's his turn. You can see a little bit in there. You can catch it at the bottom too. All right, now then he sent me an RR, which means I received it, and a 7.3, which is done. I'm sending him a 7.3. So that concludes our transaction here. I sent him a signal report. He sent me one, and we're good to go. So that constitutes a contact, and we went 1,700 miles. So the neat thing is, if you come back up to PSK Reporter here, and put your own call sign in, and you can switch to all bands or whatever. Hit go. Now what you're going to see is you're going to see stations here. These yellow flags are stations that heard my transmission in the last 15 minutes. You can hover over them and it'll show you the signal strength. There's a +2, so good solid signal, at least right here. There's a couple right in this area. +2, -7, and a +4. So really strong signal landing right there near Dallas, Texas. We go up a little bit and you get a -21. So some of that accounts for propagation. Some of it just is different people have different antennas, of course, different sensitivities and so forth. I'm using a horizontal antenna. They could have a vertical. The guy with +2 is a real booming signal report. Huge signal report. He's probably got the same kind of antenna, horizontally polarized, most likely. Hard to say. Sometimes it'll tell in here what kind of antenna they have if you click on them. Let's see if this guy doesn't really say in there, but sometimes it will say. So there you go. pskreporter.info, and kind of an idea of wsjtx. It's free software. Joe Taylor and the team created it. A lot of stations on the FT8, good or bad. You can find both out on the internet, but there's a lot of stations on FT8. It's great for making contacts, not so great for chatting on the keyboard. Switch over to Olivia or PSK31 or MSK. It's pretty common. I've even seen Throb and Thor recently. But quickly make a contact with FT8, not hard. You can test your antenna, see where its sensitivity lies, see where your transmitter signal's going. If you open this up to a larger 24 hours just for fun here, you're going to see stations all over the place, different bands, different colors. There you go. All the little dots are stations that my ham station here reported hearing. Pink, 80 meters, yellow, blue, different bands corresponding to what we have up here. And they're sorted by how many people are reporting into the cloud on those bands. So I kind of watch this when 6 meters, 69 on 6 meters. When that goes up, and that goes up to 2 or 3, 4, 500, 6 meters is open right away, and you can hop over and play on the magic band there. So Anyway, this is Jim at AG6IF. Happy 2019. We're doing fine here in Southern California. Hard not to when it's 61 degrees outside and all my friends and family back east are buried in snow. So be careful out there. And thank you for watching. This is a lot of fun. This hobby is a great amount of fun. And hello to everyone at GTARC. Great meeting last night. And I wish I had more time. We'll have to spend some more time on this in the future. But we kind of outlined our plans for this year. We want to improve ourselves, make ourselves more ready for public service and serving our community here. And so appreciate everybody's participation. And 7-3 everybody. This is Jim, AG6IF in Southern California. 7-3.